Now this is what I call breathtaking. Beautiful brides, opulent decorations.
My plan was, even when I was in varsity, my plan was, I always said this to my mom, that one day I'm gonna have my own company, I'm gonna run my own business, I'm gonna plan weddings and stuff.
Take it into the atmosphere.
So mom, you know how most of our black parents are,
Yeah.
Traditionally.
Now, we are here today to speak to Malema Matsila, the founder and CEO, managing director, bona, boss lady, whatever you want to say, of Beracah events. She organizes, coordinates, and makes sure that your event and mine one day, I hope, will be what I have been dreaming for and what you have been dreaming for. So don't go anywhere as we have this beautiful, beautiful, inspirational conversation with her. So I promised you the lady of the moment, and I am sitting with the beautiful, the chocolate, dark skin. Oh, Mona, you will want to give her your wedding. I'm telling you right now. Malema Matsila is sitting right next to me. She is the managing director and founder of Beracah Events. They organize already events. It's a wedding. Shouldn't be singing. I was told I shouldn't. So let me just get directly to the lady and have a conversation with her. Hello, Mrs. Matsila.
Hello, Linda, and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. This is Basadi Moshomong. So we bring women who are always at work and who are doing what they love, what they enjoy. And I am quite certain that today I'm going to have this conversation with you. And by the time I'm done, I will know that you love what you are doing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, now, where did all the love your decorators start? You are the first one. Or is it something that developed as you were growing up?
Okay, I definitely was that child who just liked putting things in order in the house.
Yeah.
I would go shopping with my mom. I would tell her from a very young age.
Yeah.
I would tell her, we should have this, we should have this.
Mm.
And I also enjoyed planning events.
Nice.
Like from as young as, I think I was 13, I would be involved in small family events.
Yeah.
I fell in love with that when I was around that age. But honestly, I didn't think that one day I'd make it, but like I'd go commercial on it.
Yeah.
To me, it was more like a hobby.
Yeah. And I suppose it's true what they say about it. When you are aligned with your purpose, you will eventually make money out of it. I've heard somebody say that, and I think you finding your passion from a young age and eventually saying, for me, it says I wish many women would actually be able to find their purpose and eventually make money out of it. So Beracah events. When did you start? When did it start?
Okay, we started out in 2015.
Yeah.
Officially. So my plan was, even when I was in varsity, my plan was, I always said this to my mom, that one day I'm gonna have my own company, I'm gonna run my own business, I'm gonna plan weddings and stuff.
Take it into the atmosphere.
So mom, you know how most of our black parents are.
Yeah.
Traditionally they believe that you have
professional.
You need to be employed by the government. Then you have So that was the case with me as well. My mom encouraged me to go to school, get my diploma or degree or whatever, and then as I work, have a side business. So to her, that was the vision that she had in mind. But I had something else in mind. So I started out officially in 2015. What gave me a kickstart was being unemployed for almost 2 years after my internship.
Yes.
And that's when I just decided to jump into it. I mean, what other choice did I have?
Yeah.
But, with God by my side, and things just happened. Doors just opened. And then the first event that I did, I did it for free. It was at cost. And then it was just a way of marketing.
Yeah.
So And then that's it. That's how I started. When I started out, it wasn't a planning. I didn't have the planning services. It was just deco, strictly deco. So we just style events, do the deco, and hire out equipment.
Yeah. So after varsity, what did you study?
I studied communication science.
What?
Yeah.
You studied what I love. Like that's my food. Bring the brains and then I don't know. But anyway, so you studied communication science and then 2 years unemployment, 2 years of unemployment. And during these 2 years, the 13-year-old, remember the 13-year-old? Mama, yes, and you wanna have your hands on deck.
Yeah.
So that 13-year-old sort of came alive, and you remembered, wait, I might be unemployed now, but there's a gift that I have, and this gift I can actually use it.
Yeah.
Now, what caught my attention in when you were telling your journey of how you started is when you then said your first event, you did it for free. And I just want us to speak about the first few years of starting a business, and the having to get the clientele, having to put yourself out there. Remember, you don't have pictures. You've never done an event. And for you to be able to say, Linda, I want to organize your wedding, you need to be able to say, this is what I've done.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell whoever that's watching the importance of, in the beginning of your business, how is it that you keep your head above waters, but at the same time ensuring that you put your work out there?
Honestly, starting out a business is like the hardest thing ever. But you need to really be into it. You need to have that passion that will drive you. I always say that for you to determine whether this is a passion or just a money making thing.
Money making something.
Yeah. When things are not going well, how you respond when things are not going well, and also
powerful.
How much effort you put into setting it off as you start.
Okay. So the first few years, what you did is you were kept alive by the passion that you have for deco.
Yes.
And obviously, maybe tell us how the bad days, how you got out of the bad days, the days where, like I said earlier on, Dololo work to show, but you've got potential, you can make this event happen. And this particular client is like, let's meet, show me your work. How did you rope yourself and make sure that you capture this client, even if you are actually still starting off?
Okay, remember I did this one event for free?
Yeah.
It was like someone is getting married, and so they planned a shower for them.
Okay.
And then I volunteered with the deco. So I went all out.
Yeah.
I went all out. Those were the only pictures that I had at the time.
Yeah.
So approaching clients, those were the only pictures that I had to show.
Yeah.
So what I did was, also on social media, I'd post different angles from the same event. I'll post, a nice close up of a decor item, whatever. Yeah, and I think that got me
your breakthrough.
Yeah, that got me my breakthrough. That, and also just like I'll be honest with them. I'll tell them that I've just started out. This is what I've done so far. I can do this. Just give me a chance.
Come on, somebody. Can I get a hallelujah right
there?
The biggest thing, one of the biggest things that I'm learning as well in my business journey is honesty.
Yeah.
When you are honest with your potential client and not try to overmarket yourself or oversell yourself, you are most likely going to get the client.
Yes.
Because you are saying to them, listen, I have not done much, but this is what I've done, and we can actually work with this.
Yeah.
Now, I then want to speak about how did you then, like the transition from that one freebie event, ya hore lena batelang dilo tsa lena, nna I'll make it work for you. How did you then transition to, and now the Machangura is coming in. Now I want to hear about Machangura.
Okay, also another thing that I'd like to say,
Okay.
Before I answer that question,
Yes.
When you start off your business, you don't put your prices already
I see.
on the same level as people who've been doing this for years. Like you must have that entry level sort of, So my prices were also a bit reasonable. Affordable, it was affordable.
Those people would then you were able to capture those clients.
Yes, and also I would want them to open up to me about what their budget is looking like, and then I would know that okay, this is what we can do for you. But that was just for that 1 year, as I was trying to introduce
you
myself.
had a plan in mind.
Yeah, okay, this is how much you have. We can do this and that. Let's drop this. But there are certain items that you cannot do without. So obviously, I wouldn't compromise still on the quality of
because I guess this is going to market you. So if you keep it at a low quality, it makes you look like a mediocre. Like is this all that you can do?
And I was avoiding. We don't want to build that kind of an image.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to my question. I knew you were going to forget this. So I want you to share with us how you transitioned from that one freebie. And of course, I think you've partly answered it when you said, so in the first year, what you did is you priced yourself reasonably so that you can then attract clients. Then let me rephrase the question, seeing that you've answered that part of it, and say, how did you then start to benchmark yourself with the who's who in the industry? How did you then know, worry? I'm going to price properly and I'm going to make money.
Okay, pricing properly, that's another story. Because I did have problems with. I undercoated myself for a long time. Until I learned that, you know what, you need to acquaint yourself with people who are in the same business as you are. Like make friends in the industry and learn from them. Have people that you learn from. Allow people to teach you what they know so far. So by grace, I had people that I knew who were doing this event thing had been doing it for years. They assisted me with the pricing and the do's and don'ts of the business.
Tell us about the challenges. I don't want us to talk about the money. Let's go to the hard part, the challenges.
Challenges when I first started out or now?
Throughout, whatever.
Okay. I think one of the biggest challenges that we face in this industry is working with unreliable suppliers. Because not everything that you do is like some things are beyond your control. Like you can't keep track of what everyone is doing, and you work with a lot of people. You work with photographers, you work with catering people, you work with body attire.
Yes.
Body in. So, one of the biggest challenges we have is maybe something happens to her. And I mean, some things are unintentional. Or when you work with different people, different suppliers. So you might have all your things planned out, all your planning properly done, but have one or two suppliers disappoint you, whether it's intentional or not. You know, some things are natural and cannot be avoided. But so like those are one of the challenges, one of the biggest challenges that we face. But what we do is when we plan your event, we have contracts that we get all our suppliers to sign.
I see.
And also we have suppliers that we prefer working with because we know we have a good relationship going. We know how far we've come, and you know, as opposed to using new suppliers every time or having a client bring their own suppliers in.
And you don't know how
we don't know how they work.
are.
We don't know how reliable they are. We don't know, you know. Yeah. So that's a big challenge. But we're trying to move. We're trying to move to that point where we can only use suppliers that we bring on board, just for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for convenience, for you don't want to be holding your breath all the time, or I don't know this person, is he going to show up? Is the cake going to come? Or if the cake comes, is it going to come standing like this? Because these things happen, So I really, really do understand how it, look, when you're in business and you are outsourcing certain services, certain things, there's certain things that you cannot control. And here's what I feel is the biggest slap in the face about this. Because you are Beracah at that time, approached by Linda Maponyane, who's getting married at that time. Centerpiece, everything that I feel is going to make my wedding day look good. And then you agree. You go and you get your suppliers. When they disappoint you, I don't say, what's mama, wa Beracah. I'm gonna say Beracah idirile so. Yes. So this is why it's important, as you say, keep the same suppliers, build that relationship, build that sustainability, which actually makes absolute sense. Now, I wanted to talk about how strained were you during the lockdown?
Lockdown. Look, okay, I need a glass of water for that. But yeah, okay, it's two things.
Yeah. Okay.
It was financially straining,
of course.
Obviously. You had people cancelling. From I think between the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019, the economy generally in the country was not doing well. And I think the events industry is the first one that will feel it. So things were picking up towards the end of 2019, and 2020 looked like a very good year. Yeah, we had all these requests. We already had events from the beginning of the year, from as early as January.
Wow.
And then they came the lockdown. People were cancelling, and and you had all these plans, you had all these things put together to prepare for the year. So it happened, and then fortunately we didn't have anything binding us. We mostly had requests for events that were still.
So what you're saying is you didn't have anybody that says, here's a deposit.
Yeah. Okay. We didn't have anyone who had paid for a wedding that was still yet to come. We're still discussing. And then we had weddings before the events before the lockdown.
Okay.
So it was a difficult one because this has never happened before. It's not even in any of our contracts. It's a natural disaster, I think, that no one had planned for. So even in terms of refunding your clients, it would be a difficult one as to what does it fall under? Which clause is it? So I saw it took a toll on a lot of my colleagues. And also remember that clients are also, most of them lost their jobs, and so it was just a disaster.
And you can imagine if I lost my job and I had paid you 100,000.
You need that money back.
Deposit. I see account number because I'm trying to survive.
Yeah, that's true. Also, no contract. I need my money back.
What clause? What clause? I didn't see no clause. Just I get what you were saying.
Yeah.
Now, so just maybe we would have loved to have like a table for display, whatever, and obviously the weather, Mr. Weather was not friendly.
Yes.
But what I would like you to then maybe share with me the best event that you feel you have done. Like say, like Lenyalo La Linda was breathtaking, and it was hey, and what was your best what was your best aspect about that wedding? Or yeah.
Okay, that's a tough one, but I think I have this one in mind that it was one of the best weddings I could say we've done, and it gave. So I'm gonna speak about this particular one because it gave us a break into the industry. That's when we sort of were recognized after that event.
Yeah.
It was in 2018.
Okay.
In May. I don't know, should I say the names of the... No, I'm not going to mention the clients. Okay. So the wedding was in Pretoria. It was, I think, the biggest wedding for me that I've done. That was the first time I had a wedding of that size. I just loved how everything worked out. Yeah. And also it was through that wedding when I realized that I enjoyed planning more than any other, like more than
any other aspect of
my I enjoyed doing the planning. I was just assisting. It was not a service that we charged them for. I was just assisting and I enjoyed it. So
but had you done planning before, or was it like and then you were like, wait a minute, I can actually do this?
No, it was the first time Kidira planning. Before, it was just the only planning that I ever did before then was family events Kohai. So this was basically the first one.
Okay.
And then that's when I realized, no man, I could do this. I could. I like this, and I think I'm gonna. This is my niche. I think I found my niche. That's the wedding that got us a lot of a good following and exposure and it was on the news on Sowetan Live.
Come on,
you know.
She be doing my wedding this one.
So I think that wedding until today, like it was 2 years ago, but until today, people still send us photos of that wedding, asking for codes and can you get us do something like this for us?
Yes. And then change it here, change it there. Yeah. And then I don't know why this just came in my mind. How do you deal with popular discounts?
Very awkward situations. That offends me. It offends me so much. You know what? I try to avoid it, and you see it coming. You know when you're talking and okay, let's leave this one. Can we do without? And then you know, so honestly, you know what, if we go for discount, it will compromise our quality our work, and you don't want that. So let's rather or let's change the kind of styling that you like and get something standard and still nice looking, but
you know, I want us to finish, but there's so many questions that just coming to my mind.
Okay.
I want to also speak about the different types of brides that you work with. So I used to have a wedding boutique. I used to have wedding dresses, and I had different clients coming in. You would have the calm bride. You would have the bride that just walks in and she says, I like that dress. You put her in the dress. She's like, I'm going to take this dress. You're like, oh, that was easy. And then next week, you get the panicking bride. The one that's like, the wedding is next week. I want this dress. And then you get the, oh, is this all you have? So there's different types of brides that would be coming, and you have to wear different hats to be able to deal with these different people. So I want to know, how do you switch personality? Well, maybe switch personality sounds wrong, but how do you switch whatever your mindset when a bride walks in and you are able to read their personality and you're like, hey, more confident. So how do you work around that?
Sure. You know what? You learn through experience. You know what not to say and you know what to say. But you know what? I'll tell you that always works for me. You let them be. You let them be. You show them what you have, and you don't overpromise.
Yes.
And then you know, I'll tell you about handling the panicking bride. You know, it's easier for them to be more calm when they find you calm. Yeah. So with those, you know what? Just remain grounded, be yourself, and just go with the flow. But listen to them, listen to what they would like to, what their vision is. I mean, we have different personalities.
Yeah, of course.
But then they draw this, I don't know what you call it, from you.
So they take from your aura, they feed from your aura. So if you are here and they come bale kwa, then they come to where you are.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're saying.
Yes.
And that's what works for you.
That's what works for me.
Yeah.
That's what works for me.
Okay. All right. So where to from here for Beracah events? What are the plans? What are the strategies? Because obviously it's not like we've recovered from the lockdown, and we are slowly getting back into the new normal.
So last year I took a course, a wedding planning course, you know, just to sharpen the skills, gain more knowledge and all that. Yeah. During the lockdown, because we had sufficient time, we gave away most of our equipment.
What?
So we'll be focusing on the planning and just styling of deco as well. So we still provide deco services, but we no longer own or keep equipment. Keep resources because we don't want to limit ourselves to using what we have. But we wanna be creative, explore other things, and not worry about trying to break even with the equipment that we've purchased. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this insightful conversation. I enjoyed speaking to you. Look, you rekindled my excitement for having your wedding day. Right. So, Mr. Husband, where are you? So once he comes and he finds me, I am definitely going to call you. 0799, I'm definitely going to call you so that we can get that wedding opulent and get it to look the way that I want it to be. Thank you so much, Sissy. Now that's a wrap, and this is where we stop for today. After this beautiful conversation, not only am I feeling like dum, but I am also so inspired by Malema's story and just how she's running her business. And I think from today, I will become like her. I'm just joking. This is Basadi Moshomong, and we will see you on the next episode.